Yeah, Kathmandu traffic is a nightmare. Parking is tight, as I was saying, and the cost of both your annual taxes and petrol and diesel, it's always been rising. Sometimes it declines, but by like 2, 3, 5 rupees, but then it goes up by like 7, 8 rupees, 10 rupees sometimes. And my vlog idea today is why not try EVs today. And I'm saying that because EVs, because of the nature of their drivetrain, they're all automatic. You don't have gears, you don't have to deal with the hassle of like shifting between 1 and 2. I think when you commute between office to home, home to office in rush hours, you probably hit 1, 2, and 3 at least 100 times, maybe more, not less. And here, all you do is right foot on the accelerator, and then when the car needs to come to a stop, right foot on the brake. You do not use your left foot on EVs, on automatics, by the way. Why? Because if you ever need to brake, the thinking is that your left foot will not have the coordination nor the strength, and thus the strength to really slam on the brakes. You do press the clutch a lot with your left foot, but in terms of driving an automatic, your left foot just stays on the dead pedal or just stays on the side. Anyway, back to my EV, why not EV topic. In terms of just pricing, if you can afford the upfront cost of an EV, like here right now, traffic just went, all I did was press my foot on the accelerator. Most EVs have some sort of auto hold function that when you press the brake a bit heavier, it just stops. Otherwise, there's always a handbrake in most EVs, or you can always just leave your foot on the brake in an EV and the car will not lurch forward. And so what I'm trying to say is, traffic, it's quite easy navigating through traffic, because all you have to do is press the accelerator, the car will go forward. You press the brake, the car will stop, and there's no like brakes, gears in between. And driving in Kathmandu, at least personally, has become a bit more tolerable. In the sense, I reach home with just a bit more headspace and a bit more energy to do other things after coming home in the evening after a long day of work. And I think that in itself is a huge benefit of EVs, just that ease, having that ease and comfort. And the other thing is that you basically, when you sit in traffic, like what I'm about to do right now, if you can see ahead, is you sit in traffic without worrying too much about the cost of how much fuel you're burning, because the cost of electricity per unit is anywhere between 8 to 12, 13 rupees depending on the time of day and where you are, as compared to what, 170 plus for petrol per liter. And so whether your car is super efficient or not, you're still paying less per unit in costs when it comes to driving an EV. I'm not going to say this car just travels, take 3 rupees, 5 rupees per unit to travel, when you basically divide the range by how much kilometers it's traveled and by the cost of filling an EV battery, like how many units goes in. That differs from place to place and also from driver to driver, because like how you drive really determines how efficient your EV can or cannot get, similar to a petrol vehicle. And so ultimately what I'm trying to say, wrap home, is that EVs, running an EV is just far cheaper, I suppose. And on top of all of that, the maintenance costs, as in when you go to a servicing, you know how you have like parts changes and like oil changes, and just have things that need to be replaced in a running motor in a regular gasoline car. The advantage of an EV is that there just aren't that many running parts in the engine. It's more of a motor in these EVs, and you just have lesser maintenance costs. I'm not saying don't take your EV for maintenance, please do. This is Nepal, Kathmandu roads, potholes everywhere. It's quite rugged, and no matter what you think of a car, the cars are made mainly for roads abroad, and roads are smooth and pitched, and speed breakers are like properly thought of, culverts, everything. Here I don't think that much of thinking goes into it, and as a result roads are just a lot more tougher on the car in terms of how quick or slow it will deteriorate. And so please do take your car for servicing, EV car or gasoline car. But the overall maintenance of running, the costs of running an EV are definitely lower. Though there is a flip side to this, and that is that because EVs are a new technology at the moment, the parts, the spare parts, the replacement costs are a bit higher. But what most manufacturers have done with EVs is that the car is sold with like pretty long warranty on both the battery, which is also the most expensive component of the car, the EV car, and also the motor and things inside the car. There's usually like a 6 to 8 year on the battery, which if you think about it, in 8 years time, I feel like I don't even know where I'll be. Forget about the car that I'll have. And if I am thinking about the motor and things, I think in 3 years is basically what most manufacturers give, is a good enough amount of time to know whether your EV will start breaking down or not. There's this myth, this thinking that the moment your warranty expires on the car or the battery, it's just gonna break down the next day. But yeah, that doesn't happen. I don't know where people have started thinking like that, but when things do go bad, then you have warranty, and it's not like the battery will just stop working overnight. It's usually a slow deterioration of range, and by that time it'll be like a decade. And so